What's up guys, and Funape here. Now a little while ago I actually came across a video that Dobbs had made along with Mr. Umbreon, and he actually went over what he thought was the best Pokemon to use in a specific game. And I thought to myself after watching it,
bullshit.
Now don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on Dobbs, but I just feel like I could make a better video than he did. So, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to be going over a single Pokemon, or a handful of Pokemon, that I think could beat the game easily. Be sure to let me know down in the comment section below if you agree with any of the entries on this list, if you think that I should do more of these sort of videos, or if you have your own video suggestions for the future, feel free to let me know down in the comment section below. So, without further ado, let's get into the video! Okay, we're going to be starting with the original games, which are red, blue, and yellow. Now, for me, this was an easy entry, and this is one that I do agree. I think this is the very few things I actually agree with Dobbs. This is actually a really, really easy answer. The one being Nidoking. Like I said earlier, there are some that I don't agree with on Dobbs' video, but there are a couple on there that I do agree with. One of them being Nidoking. And I can't deny Nidoking is a great Pokemon to have on your team. Not only can you get it really early in the game, it's extremely powerful. Not only does Nidoking have respectable stats all around, it's got a really powerful move pool from many different types. Like, it's got a really good physical attack power in its arsenal. Not only can it learn some really powerful moves like Earthquake, it can learn really good support moves like Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, and many other different types of moves. So it's definitely a must if you want to play a game of Red, Blue, and Yellow. Not only that, back in Generation 1, the X accuracy actually gives you perfect accuracy for that specific turn. And, if you didn't already know, Nidoking can learn Horn Drill, which means it could just give it a couple of X accuracies, spam Horn Drill, and then Nidoking will be like,
"Come get me, you little bitch, I'm a goddamn Super Saiyan."
Plus it doesn't exactly hurt that it can also evolve to its final stage really early in the game. Because after you get the first gym badge, I'm sure you'll have like a Nidorino by then, you go straight to Mount Moon, and you get the Moonstone, which means you can evolve it right away. How OP is that? Okay, now we're moving over to Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Now, there are quite a lot of Pokemon out there that could be helpful in a playthrough of Gold, Silver, and Crystal. But in my own opinion, the best one to use is Lapras. Some of you may be thinking, why Lapras? Well, I really think that Lapras is a great Pokemon to use on your team because of two reasons. It's Water type, and it's also Ice type. Those two types can get you really far in the game. Like, Water type can easily get you to place thanks to Surf, and Ice types can also help you get through the game because, well, there are a lot of Dragon type users, namely Claire and Lance. So Lapras is really going to come in handy for when you need to take down Claire and Lance. Admittedly, yes, Lapras isn't the easiest Pokemon to get your hand on, because you need it to be in a specific cave on a Friday, but it is definitely worth your while catching, because it can easily take down loads of threatening people that can get in your way. Lapras is just such a great Pokemon. Great stats all around, really helpful in the game. It's just so powerful. Like, do you know how many moves it can learn from various different types? Quite a lot, actually. And it's also really good since it can also learn Thunderbolt. Which means, say if you're taking on a Gyarados, you can just use Lapras' Thunderbolt and knock it out. Plus, Ice Beam is also really helpful to have. So, Ice Beam for days, boys! Plus, it can also learn a lot of the necessary HMs to get through the game, so yeah. Choose Lapras when you're next playing Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Okay, now we're moving along to Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Now, this was definitely a meh choice, because I'm neutral with this Pokemon. I used to dislike it, but now I'm okay with it. That being Swampert. Now, I wasn't sure if I wanted to pick Swampert or not, but I changed my mind just by thinking of one thing. That being its typing. For those who didn't know, Swampert is a water type and a ground type, which means it only has one weakness, being grass type. And there are very few people important people anyway, who actually use grass types. In fact, there's only 2 people that come to mind who are extremely important that use grass type Pokemon. And they're at the Elite Four, or the Champion. Which means you can pretty much wipe out the entire game using only Swampert. Not only that, Swampert can learn pretty much all of the necessary HMs needed to do a playthrough of only Swampert. Also, I would also recommend getting the box art legendary when you can, because you basically get given a free Master Ball and a free legendary, so you might as well just throw a Master Ball at it, use the legendary, and then just sweep the entire game. Because, well, why not? I would recommend using Kyogre above Groudon and Rayquaza, since it has more of a diverse move pool when it comes to the HMs. But it's up to you. You can do either or. Okay, now we're going to be going into Firered and Leafgreen, which are the first remakes of the game. Now, this is going to be interesting because this time we're going to be using 3 Pokemon for this list, because these 3 Pokemon could sweep the entire game. Let's get into the first Pokemon, that being the Bulbasaur evolutionary line. Let me explain. People say that either Charmander or Squirtle are the best starters to use in Firered and Leafgreen. No, it is not. Or, as Colress would say,
I disagree.
Let me explain why the Bulbasaur line could easily wipe out the entire game. It's really good against Brock, Misty, and Giovanni. It resists all of Lieutenant Surge's attacks. It can go match to match with Erica's Pokemon, and it can go pretty well against Koga's poison types, which means it's only weak to 2 other gym leaders in the entire game. That's pretty powerful if you ask me. Not only that, Venusaur has all-around good stats and a wide diverse move pool, which means it can be played many different ways. All-out attacker, a tank, however you want to play it, Venusaur can do, and can do really, really well. But still, Venusaur does have its drawbacks, that being 2 gym leaders, Sabrina and Blaine. But the other 2 Pokemon that I put on the list can handle Sabrina, Blaine, and a couple members of the Elite Four. One of them being Lapras, since it can cut other Blaine's Pokemon, and can also take out Lance's Pokemon, and quite a lot of Pokemon from the Elite Four. The other being a Pokemon not only really, really speedy, but can handle any ghost types, psychic types that can come my way. And that Pokemon being Jolteon! For those who are a little confused, Jolteon is able to learn the move Shadow Ball, which you can get at the Celadon Game Corner, I think it's called. So, it can learn Shadow Ball for about 4,000, 3,000 coins, so either get rich or get lucky. Okay, now we're going to be moving along to Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Here, Dobbs actually did put the Pokemon I put, but he also put a different Pokemon for Pokemon Platinum, which is Empoleon. And I thought, no, this Pokemon alone could easily take out Pokemon Platinum as well. That being Infernape. Now, I'm not putting Infernape on the list just because it's my favourite Pokemon. I'm putting Infernape on here because it can sweep through the entire game. Like, its fire type and its fighting type are really, really good for this game. Because quite a lot of the Pokemon quite a lot of the gym leaders in this game are weak to fire types and fighting types. Not only that, Infernape can learn many different types of moves from lots of different Pokemon types, such as Thunder Punch, Stone Edge, Aerial Ace, Shadow Claw, Earthquake, Dig, the list goes on. So it can cover quite a lot of his weaknesses as well. Not only that, Infernape can learn many different types of really powerful stab moves as well. So if you're on the other end of its Flare Blitz, you're most likely going to die. I am very tempted to do an entire playthrough of Diamond, Pearl and Platinum using only Infernape, because that would be pretty sick. I will capture a couple of other Pokemon just to use as HM slaves, but I'll never use them for battle. I'll just use them for HM slaves and just use all the battling for Infernape and Infernape alone. Okay, now we're going to be getting into the first Pokemon game I've ever played, which was Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Now for this list, there are 2 different Pokemon on this list, and these Pokemon could probably shred through the entire game. One being the Cyndaquil line, the other being Raikou. Cyndaquil could easily sweep through the entire game because it's Fire type. Plus, like, it can get early training at the Bellsprout Tower, or Sprout Tower, or whatever you want to call that goddamn tower. Because most of the trainers in there only use Bellsprout for some reason. Which means you can get some pretty decent training in, and it will evolve into Quilava. By that time, you'll get to the second gym battle where everything is bug type, and then you can plow through it using Flame Wheel and Flame Wheel alone. Then when you get to Whitney, all you need to do is just use pure power to get through her, and then you've basically got the entire gameplay through sorted. Once Cyndaquil gets a Typhlosion, you're going to have a real powerhouse on your team, since it can learn many different moves, and my personal favourite moveset for Typhlosion was definitely Flamethrower, Earthquake, Sunny Day and Solar Beam. That way it can power up its Fire-type moves, and it can also get a one-shot Solar Beam. So, that's pretty handy. But once you get to Ecruteak City, you can encounter Raikou for the first time, try to track him down, and try to catch him. Emphasis on try, because roaming legendaries are a real pain in the ass. But once you do catch Raikou, you're going to have a real powerhouse on your team, since it can counter Typhlosion as weakness to water types. Plus, it can also get the opportunity to get the item called the Choice Specs, which powers up all special type attacks, or special attacks anyway, but you're only able to use one move for the entire battle. I mean, you can switch it out and switch it back in again to use a different move, but I really don't see the point, since you're going to just spam Thunderbolt or Discharge on this thing, so that way you can wipe out everything. Okay, now we're going to be getting into Black and White, which are definitely really fun games to play if you're a kid. I enjoyed these when I was a kid. I don't enjoy them anymore. But I can say that the choice for Black and White are pretty easy. I'll get to Black and White 2 in a minute. The choice for Black and White 2 is the Emboar line. Starts off with Tepig on your journey, and you're pretty much set for the entire journey, because Tepig can learn some really, really OP moves, and it's got a really good all-around stats as well. I mean, you can use Pansage to take out Pan and Paw or for the first gym battle if you want to, or you could just do what I do. Level him up till it learns Flame Charge, and then just overpower him. Once you evolve it into Pignite, you're gonna pretty much run through the entire game, because it is such a powerful Pokemon. Yes, you may run into a little trouble with Elisa, but I would say just over-level all your Pignite, so that way you can pretty much take them all out in a single attack. Plus, it's just so cool, because not only does Emboar have really, really OP attack power, it's got a really wide move pool. It can learn moves such as Flamethrower, Heat Crash, Brick Break, Low Sweep, Assurance, Wild Charge, Stone Edge, Rock Slide, even Scald. Yes, it can learn a water type move. So this thing is pretty powerful. Not only is Emboar really good with physical attacks, it's just as good with special attacks as well. So if you want an easy playthrough of Black and White, go with Emboar. Okay, now we're going to be getting into Black and White 2. And for this list, there are only 2 Pokemon. That being the Oshawott line and Excadrill. Now, I definitely think Samurot's the best Pokemon to use in Black and White too. Since one, Water type can actually cover quite a lot of main characters in the Pokemon game. Two, it can learn lots of different types of moves that can be really helpful. And three, it can pretty much learn every HM move that you need that is important. Same goes for Excadrill. Samurott is just so powerful in these games. Like, it can learn many different types of important moves, such as Surf, Hydro Cannon, Razor Shell, Mega Horn, X-Scissor, Ice Beam, the list goes on. And it can even learn Dig. And when it's still a Duat, I don't know if it can learn it as a Samurott. But still, it can unlearn ground type moves, which means it can cover its electric type weakness, which could definitely be really helpful. Okay, now let's get into Excadrill. Excadrill's so powerful in these games because, one, its moves can pretty much counter loads of people in the main story, and two, it can learn some of the most powerful moves in the game with its own typing. Like, it can even learn Sword Stance and Hone Claws, which has the power to up his physical attack. And it can learn a lot of physical attacks. So, if you use a Sword Stance, plus an Earthquake or an Iron Head, or even a Drill Run, you're going to be one-shotting a lot of people. Okay, now we're going to be moving along to X and Y. This one has 3 Pokemon again, and I gotta say, this is probably the most powerful trio so far. Or at least the most powerful team I could come up with so far. You start off with Froakie, which is, in my opinion, the best starter to use in this game, and use its power to plow through the entire game, because quite frankly, it could go through quite a lot of important people. Once you get to the first gym battle, just do the in-game trade with the Bunnelby and Farfetch'd thing, and then after you beat them, just stick Farfetch'd in the PC and never touch it again. Then you go capture a Honedge and then evolve it into an Aegislash. For those who didn't know, Aegislash is absolutely broken in this game. Emphasis on broken. It is so deadly in these games because it can learn many different types of moves, such as Aerial Ace, Shadow Ball, Shadow Claw, Iron Head, King Shield, Sacred Sword. The list goes on and on and on. And it is so helpful in these games. You need to use Aegislash. The final Pokemon that you need to add to your team is one that you can actually get for free. That being the potential Mega Lucario that you get after your gym battle with Korrina. Mega Lucario is just so damn broken in these games because it can learn so many different types of moves, such as Shadow Claw, Dig, Earthquake, Bone Rush, Aura Sphere, Flash Cannon, Ice Punch. The list goes on. I definitely feel like Lucario is a worthy contender in these games. Okay, now we're going to be getting into Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. For this, we have 2 Pokemon on the team. I'm going to be starting with the first one. That being Blaziken. Yeah, once you begin in your journey, pick Torchic. Then evolve it before you challenge the Rustboro Gym. And if you do that, you're pretty much set for the entire game. Trust me. Blaziken's attack power is godlike, and its move pool is also godlike. Like, its physical move pool is so insane. Like, you can learn many different physical moves from many different types, which means you're pretty much set as soon as you pick Torchic as your starter. Plus, it doesn't exactly hurt that its Mega is OP as hell. The second Pokemon that I'd recommend you put on your team is the box art legendary that you end up getting right near the end of the game, because again, you basically get a Master Ball for free, you get a free legendary, throw the Master Ball at it, it's yours. Personally, I think Kyogre is the better choice between Groudon and Kyogre for this scenario, because Kyogre is a water type, it can learn Surf, and it's just better for this sort of scenario. But if you really want to use Get Groudon, by all means use it. And then just, well, pick up a HM slave that can learn all the HM moves that you need. Okay, now we're going to be moving on to Sun and Moon. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are going to be separate. Okay, for Sun and Moon, we're going to be using 2 Pokemon. One that I hate, and one that I don't mind. Let's start with the one I hate. That being the Popplio line! As much as I hate Popplio, Brionne, and Primarina, it can get through the games really easily. Like, literally, it beats all 4 of the Kahunas thanks to its Water and Fairy moves. Fun. And it can also take Egg on the Elite Four quite easily. Also fun. Not only that, Primarina's special move pool is actually quite large, and it can learn many different types of special attacks, such as Shadow Ball, Energy Ball, and Psychic, and quite a few others. So, Primarina can be quite useful in a Sun and Moon playthrough. The next Pokemon that I would recommend putting on a Sun and Moon team is actually Alolan Muck. I know that this team is lacking speed, but Primarina and Alolan Muck together could pretty much take down all of the most important people in the entire game. Plus, Alolan and Muck's physical or move pool is quite good. Plus, it can learn all sorts of great stab moves such as Gunk Shot, Poison Fang, and Crunch, and all sorts of good support or moves such as like Brick Break and stuff like that. Okay, now we're going to be getting into the better version of Sun and Moon, being Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And this team, in my opinion, is a lot better. We're going to be having 3 members on this team, and to start things off with, we've got my favourite starter of the Alola region, that being the Litten line. Try saying that 10 times fast. In Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, quite a lot of things would change. Like some of the Pokemon that some people use, the Totem Pokemon, and some moves were changed in the Learn set and some Pokemon as well. So, Litten can actually learn Double Kick at around level 16, something like that. So you're pretty much set for the first Totem Pokemon, and you can learn all sorts of great moves as well, thanks to the move learners. I can't remember what they're called, but basically you give them battle points and they give you some decent moves. Just as long as you teach Incineroar Fire Punch, Darkest Lariat, Brick Break, and Thunder Punch, you're going to pretty much sweep the entire game, since those 4 moves can counter a lot of people in the game that are really important. Still, there are some Pokemon that Incineroar can't handle. That's why I added 2 other members to help it out. And let's start with a first member of the team. That being Hawlucha. Hawlucha's here because its fighting type and flying type can really be an asset to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, because it can learn so many different types of moves, and also some really dope stab moves, and it doesn't exactly help the game that quite a lot of important characters and important battles are weak to fighting and flying moves. Plus, its abilities make sure that its speed stat just doesn't go down. So, Hawlucha will be a great asset to your team. The last member is Alolan Muck for the same reasons I said earlier, but it's actually more OP in this game because, well, thanks to the move learners, it can learn Ice Punch. So, you're pretty set when you use Alolan Muck. Plus, it can also take down Ultra Necrozma quite easily, so have fun with that. Now we're going to be moving on to what is probably the worst main series Pokemon game ever. Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Oh boy, I could say many things about this game. Trust me, there's a long list, but I don't have time for that. Okay, let's get into the first Pokemon of the list. There are going to be 2 Pokemon on this list, and the first one is going to be either Pikachu or Eevee, depending on which version you're playing. If you're playing Let's Go Pikachu, you're going to be using Pikachu. If you use Let's Go Eevee, you're going to be using Eevee. It's no surprise why I put the starters here, because one, they have perfect IVs no matter how many times you soft reset. Two, they can learn really, really OP signature moves that are exclusive only to them. So you're pretty much going to sweep through the entire game using only your starter. But there is one other Pokemon on the list that I definitely think could be a great asset to you. So when you get to Celadon City, you actually have the ability to use Surf. And as you can guess, my next Pokemon is a Water type. And it shouldn't be a surprise which Pokemon I'm picking. That being Starmie. Now Starmie's on here because its Water and Psychic type is just absolutely broken. Like literally, it can learn all sorts of great moves such as Water Pulse, Surf, Psychic, heck, even Thunderbolt and Ice Beam. This is just such a broken Pokemon. You need to use this in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee just to see how broken it is in this game. Now, we're going to be getting into the final game, which are Sword and Shield. But I couldn't find any one Pokemon that could get through the game easily. So, I found 4. So I thought I'd I'll just say all 4 of them because I couldn't decide between the 4. The first Pokemon on the list is the Score Bunny line, because Cinderace can learn all sorts of very powerful physical attacks. Plus it's also in OU and Smogon, so it doesn't exactly hurt either. Like some of the strongest moves it can learn is like Fire Punch, Pyro Ball, U-Turn, Fire Fang, Low Kick, Low Sweep. The list is quite large. Plus, it's actually the best starter to use in Sword and Shield, so that doesn't exactly hurt either. Plus, Cinderace can take down a lot of important people in the game, so that's fun too. But the other Pokemon also can take down loads of people in the game, so that's why I couldn't decide between the 4 of them. I'll show you the other 3 now. The second Pokemon is Barracuda, because Barracuda is actually really, really strong. Like, it's got really good physical attack and really good speed, which means it can pull off some decent waterfalls and actually can learn great coverage moves such as Crunch, Psychic Fangs, and Ice Fang. Plus, it also has the ability Swift Swim, so if you Gigantamax it, then you use the Gigantamax move, you're gonna make the Rainfall, which ups the speed and powers up water attacks. So, you're pretty solid there. Barracuda is a pretty solid Pokemon to use in this game. Next up, we have Roserade, because Roserade can actually take down a lot of important people thanks to Giga Drain, Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, and Dazzling Gleam. Like, those 4 moves could destroy the crap out of loads of important characters in Sword and Shield. I don't get why this thing isn't overhyped for being in Sword and Shield, because it is an absolute monster in Sword and Shield. The final Pokemon is Lucario again, because, well, Lucario is just OP no matter what game you're in, let's be honest. Even though it doesn't have a Mega Evolution, it's still really, really helpful for Sword and Shield. Very, very difficult to get, but very, very worth it. And there you have it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did, and be sure to let me know down in the comment section below if you agree with any of the members of the list, or if you have your own suggestion into making your own list, feel free to let me know down in the comment section below, or if you're a YouTuber, make a video about it and leave a link for me down in the description. Not down in the description, down in the comments, sorry, and I will go check them out. Also, guys, be sure to let me know down in the comment section below what sort of videos you want me to do on this channel, and also give me some suggestions for what to do for my next subscriber goal, because I need to get some ideas going. I've got a couple, but I'd like to hear what you guys think. If you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did, be sure to give it a massive thumbs up, comment down below, share this video with a friend, And if you're new, subscribe to my channel. It's been Inferno today. Okay, that's all from me, so until the next time, this is Infernape, signing off. Bye!